I was hoping all my handlers could be here for the last show of the season. Most of them are, but I can't find Chase anywhere. Of course, he's no good until he's had his first cup of coffee, so I think we're just going to have to get the show going without him. So these are the puppies we have right now. They're the first litter of the season, and it's so much fun to actually start bonding with them, as you can imagine. It starts the day they're born, and the way we do it is we pick up each puppy, we hold them in our hands, and as we're doing that, they start associating comfort and security with us. So by the time they can run around a little bit, like these guys are doing, they know us and trust us, and they want to follow us on adventures, which is a perfect opportunity for us to help them develop their self-confidence. And we do that by challenging them to overcome obstacles. Now, the first thing we do is say, hey, can you make it across the logs? Well, as you can see, they do it easily, and so then they get lots of praise on the other side. But if they can't do it, well, we give them a little boost. And they learn something from that. And what they're learning is basically that we're not going to ask them to do anything impossible, but also that we'll always be there to help them when the going gets tough. And that pays big dividends when we're on the trail together with them later on in life.
Yeah, well, I mean, they seem to be doing very well, getting a little more confident each day. And of course, it won't be too long before they're not really, they don't really have that much to do in your yard anymore, even though they're still way too small to put in a harness. So what are you going to do next?
Well, you know what, I think we want what every parent wants, and that is for every success they have to be a stepping stone or a building block towards their next success. So of course, after they've bonded with us, developed self-confidence, and feel comfortable, as you can see running around in this whole area, that's when we introduce them to their mentors. And who are their mentors? Well, of course, they're the older dogs in the kennel, the ones that really are the heart of the kennel, and the most important really are the ones that have retired from active racing, because not only do they know everything, but now they have the time to teach the little guys by their example. So the way we do that is we start the relationship simply by going on long walks out in the woods. And as we're doing that, the older dogs, of course, run confidently out in front, and the puppies chase after them. Now, what I do is I let them have a little fun out there running around through the trees, so forth. Then I'll call the older dogs back, who run to me, and the puppies chase them back. Now, the key to this whole thing is you repeat that same thing again and again until by association, the puppies start learning a couple things from the older dogs. Number one, they learn to listen for my voice, which is very important with dog teams because all commands are verbal. The teams are simply too large to communicate any other way. But the second thing they learn, and by far this is the most important, they learn to always follow and trust in those leaders, because those are the ones that ultimately will bring us all safely home. And they need that skill when they go in harness for the first time.
Yeah, well, I mean, that's always an exciting time for you, I know. But there's sort of a question, I guess, of when it's time for them to graduate and stop running around in the woods on their own and actually be part of a team. So what are you looking for to see that timing is right? Is it age or weight, or is there more to it?
Well, JR, you know, it's those things you mentioned plus more. We want to make sure that every element is in place that helps them have a successful run. Of course, they enjoy it, but most importantly, that they look forward to doing it again. So the first thing we want to see is that they're physically capable. Are they big enough, strong enough, and fast enough? And we can see these little guys haven't reached that point yet, but they will, and it usually happens about 6 months of age. Now the next thing we look for is whether they have whether they have started to listen to the older dogs, following what they're doing. I can tell that because they're hearing my voice now, and they're always paying attention to what those older dogs are doing to make sure they learn that.
They're pulling
but the
them.
final thing is what you see right now. It's called the instinct to pull, and that is the love, joy, and desire that each one of these dogs have to run as part of a team pulling a sled down the trail. But I think you're noticing as we add dogs, we add power. So I modified this four-wheeler in a couple of ways to deal with that. Now, number one, I removed the engine. If you see my hand going through there, there's nothing there today. I've only got dog power. I got plenty of that, so I've had to reinforce the brakes. So on corners, I can actually make it around. But the final thing is, as you can see, when you're hitching up, there's so much power, you better be anchored up. So I'm going to get going. I have a radio, call you from the other side and let you know how everything is. Looks like it's going to be a great run.
Yeah, I should say, it's too bad they're not eager to get going. Look what happens though when he pulls the trigger here. Everybody gets real quiet and leans into it, starts to pick up speed, and David is gone. Keep looking to the left now. In between the two cabins behind the dog pit, because he's just going to do a U-turn, then come from our right to our left. And you'll see him on the monitor too. We're going to have cameras pointed at him the whole way. So
Right
there
there.
they go. With the lead
coming
dog
back.
setting the pace, everybody else falling in behind. Rest of the dogs back here freaking out. Don't worry though, because every dog exercises every day at Trailbreaker, which is why they're so healthy and why they live so long. Old Grant had lived to be 17 and a half, ran over 41,000 miles in his career. Now keep looking to the left there, in between those same two cabins, but focus on that trail farther away at the base of the tall spruce trees. Because any minute now, unless there was a bunny in the trail, there they go.
Here we are, we're coming out of the trees. This is an amazing dog team. Look at them stretched out in front of me. Those guys are going about 20 miles an hour, which is remarkable when you consider the four-wheeler and I weigh over 600 pounds, and these guys appear to be doing it effortlessly. But they're doing it because they understand the concept of teamwork. Every dog does their fair share, and that's what it takes if you're going to win the Iditarod or the Yukon Quest. It takes everybody working together because that makes life work. I can tell they're doing a good job because everybody's pulling his thing. Ask him a command to call you on the way back. Honk.
Okay, the paw command now. Remember, this is all voice steering. There's no reins or lines. You use your voice. Shout the commands out. G for right, paw for left, hike are all right. Gets them started. Then to stop them, you say whoa, and then just kind of pray, actually, because they don't like that command very much. As you're going to see when they get back. Now watch that same trail out there. Opposite way. They'll head back. We'll listen in.
That's right there.
Well, here we are headed home, and this is just beautiful watching a team string out like this. Actually, I feel as powerful as a gorilla today. If it wasn't for these dogs, though, I'd be going down the trail pretty slow. I'd be walking on my knuckles. But not today with these dogs in front of me. They are taking me for a ride. A lot faster than swinging through trees. I'll tell you more when I get back.
Okay. Now keep an eye on that gate to the left of the dog pit, because that's where you're going to see him next. By the way, I noticed our vessel is kind of leaning to the left a little bit here. Almost like you're enjoying learning about these dogs. You might be glad to know that if all goes according to the plan, you'll get to meet David at the village, and he and his crew are going to bring dogs with them that you can pat on the head and get to know a lot better, get some pictures, get all your questions answered, of course. And they will have a beautiful bronze statue of that great lead dog, Granite, that you can get photos of as well. It was a tribute, actually, that was given to David and Susan to commemorate his remarkable career. So, keep an eye on that gate. And we'll see the team come back here pretty soon. It sounds like it's a little bumpy, maybe, but
There it is.
they got it done. Coming back in. dogs are working, look out.
Whoa.
Maybe we'll end up in the river, maybe we won't, I don't know. David, you survived another one.
Whoa! That was quite a ride. But you know, after every run, when the dogs are that enthusiastic, everybody gets praise, everybody gets a pat on the head, and then of course, just like us, everybody loves to play.
Yeah, they don't care if it's 41 degrees. It's time to get in that water and refresh. It's just like 8th grade, out of gym class into the pool. Now, David, I was mentioning as you were coming back in that where the plan usually is to spend some time with you. I hope you're going to be able to join us today. And we'll get to meet some of the dogs, see the beautiful statue of Granite, but the statue's not the only way he's been immortalized, of course, because there's the book about him, too, that you and Susan wrote, and I'm hoping that if anybody would want one of those, will there be some time to maybe have you sign it and even write a little something in there?
Well, absolutely. You know, JR, one of the things that's meant the most to my family and to me in these last 13 years is, since we lost Susan, is when I've been able to share her story and the story of Granite with other families. What really means a lot is how much kids always identify with him. And I think that's because Granite was a little puppy that nobody believed in, but because Susan had faith in him, and because they worked so hard together. I remember watching them until he became the greatest lead dog in history. So if any of you would like me to personalize a copy to either yourselves, children, grandchildren, or maybe even the library, it'd be my privilege to do it.
All righty, well, we'll look forward to that, David. And in the meantime, on behalf of all of us out here, thank you for sharing your backyard with us again.
Well, thank you so much for stopping by. I'd like to introduce my staff to say goodbye to you. We've got Katrina, we've got Riley, we've got Mandy. Doggone it, I wish Chase was here, but I guess that second cup of coffee hasn't kicked in yet. But as soon as he does, he'll be here too. So thank you so much. It's a wonderful season, and we look forward to seeing you again next year.
And when you gotta go, you gotta go.